Okay. It says we're live. I don't see it here. Cause
At EQ Bank, we know that smart
you gotta be
money
so
has
loud.
the potential to multiply.
Alrighty. Okay. We're live. I checked it. We're live. I'm not gonna check it again. It is a weird feedback noise on the microphone. Speaking of the microphone, I gotta look the page. Every dollar. I gotta log into my every dollar. I should really turn on this one so I can see my screen. Whoops, sorry people. How's that look? Oh. 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 Yeah. I really did not prepare for this properly. Okay. I did not prepare. I did not. I was not ready. Yeah. Alright, let me turn this down so I just need to see my screen. That's it. I just need to see the screen. I'm gonna need, how is it gonna stay put? I just need to stay put. I'm gonna need a miniature tripod for the camera. Okay. Oh, it's in the kitchen. Oh, right, it's in the kitchen. Never mind. Okay. So we're streaming. Okay, good. So my debt total is $2,400. Yay! It's $2,400. Yeah, so best way to describe it, how my debt went really, really quickly at paying it off. I went to a Canadian bankruptcy trustee and yeah, they showed me my options. And I took the option of consumer proposal, which basically I still pay off my debt. My debt still gets their money. At least they get some of their money, but they get some of my money in the settlement that is presented from the bankruptcy office. It's not presented from me. When it's presented from you, sometimes your creditors just don't listen. But when you go into a bankruptcy office and the bankruptcy office negotiates or communicates with your creditors, they are more likely to listen. This is what I've learned about that. They're more likely to listen, which, yeah. And then I learned in Canada that the process of me buying my first house, open widget, hold on. The process of me buying my first house would mean that I would have to go back into debt, rebuilding my credit history to prove to the bank or a mortgage broker that I can handle a mortgage. That part, don't really like. I mean, the idea of buying a house cash, recommended by Dave Ramsey, in a high house buying market like Toronto, Vancouver, it's pretty much not likely to happen. So the mortgage of rebuilding your credit to get a mortgage is what needs to be done. Because of when I followed other Canadians following Dave Ramsey, they've already had a house. They've already gone into debt to get their house. I'm coming from the position of I've been renting a long time and I want to get ready to buy my first house in my lifetime because I see the benefits of personal experience of buying a house, how it makes sense to buy a house. So this is where I'm like, okay, so how do I do it? And then I'm self-employed. So that means I have to prove my income for 2 years in preparation of buying a house, plus having the credit to handle a future mortgage. It's not like, oh, just go in and buy something cash, because housing markets here, they start at $500,000 and up, which is $500,000 and up. I'll write that number in the chat so you know what that looks like. Yeah, that number It's a starting price for most houses in the city I live in. Even if I move out of the core, the downtown. If I move out of downtown and I go a little bit where my family lives in the West End, their housing market is still the same price. And I'm not trying to live in Nowhereville to buy a house. I want to live in a good city where I know the neighborhood and I know if I need to come into the city. Hey, classic car. If I come into the city for my doctor's appointment, because all my doctors are downtown, and then I'm coming into the city to go to my doctor's appointment, I want that commute to be as short as possible. Because me buying a house out of downtown means I would have to learn to drive. Yeah, I've been watching the news. It's a little scary because I've been seeing cars getting accidents recently, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to learn to drive. But yeah, this is how I looked at it. For my whole debt snowball, my debt journey, financial independence, building wealth, all those things, where I'm going to have to get out of debt with a bankruptcy trustee, get discharged from the bankruptcy, then go into getting a secure credit card. My bank offers it, Capital One offers it, Home Trust offers it, and yeah, start there, rebuild my credit. And then I looked at my credit history. It kind of made sense if I go into rebuilding my credit at this stage to prove that I can handle a credit card that has a balance of $3,500. Because of how I looked at the qualifications of getting a mortgage after bankruptcy, after discharge. They look at people handling debt over $2,500. Yeah, and I picked that number. It's not like I picked that number out of thin air. I picked that number based on the previous credit card balances I've had. They total up to $3,500. First card was $1,000. Second card was $2,000. Third card was $500. This is how I figured out for me to move forward and proving to creditors and lenders that I can handle debt. I need to show them that I have an established credit of $3,500, even if it's a secure card, which means secure card means you put up the funds first, and then I didn't buy my house yet. It's the plan. The plan after I'm debt free is to build my fully funded emergency fund, then work on my down payment for a house while navigating my disability stuff. Yeah, it's not like it's gonna happen tomorrow. It's like the next 5 to 10 year plan. I didn't buy it yet, but I've learned that a house could be a gift to me from my family, so they're all on high alert. They could gift me a house. Great, because yeah. And it's only because like renting right now, my rent increase is above guideline, meaning they're applying for the increase, increasing my rent above the guideline made by the landlord and tenant board or the city. So yeah, so now I gotta be prepared for, I'm gonna pay more in rent because where I'm gonna go, can't really go anywhere. Even though they're asking for above guideline increase on my rent is still really, really low. It is still really low compared to the averages in the city right now. Because again, I'm not going to live in Nowhereville to have cheap rent. I'm just not. I like my big, plus living in a bigger city means I have a higher speed internet. That means I can get my work done more efficiently on a higher speed internet living in a bigger city that has higher speed internet than if I lived out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I'm not a small town kind of girl. They would talk about me every day. We know this. They would. They so would. Okay, so yeah, this is what's going on right now. I'm following a baby step plan. I'm not even saying I'm following Dave Ramsey anymore. I'm not. Because I've learned things for my situation and for where I live and for people in self-employed, rebuilding credit, bankruptcy. The rules are still rigged where you have to get debt or rebuild your credit to establish yourself as a person that can futurely buy a house. It's just what it is. It's just what we're dealing with. So yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say except for like the balance of my debt could be gone in a couple of months, but definitely gone by December. That is what we're working with. I want it gone by December. There's a possibility some interesting funds are going to come into my account in the next couple of weeks because we're still in pandemic mode in the country. But I'm just working. with what I have, with where I'm at, with where I want to go, and it's moving very, very quickly to the point where it scared me a lot. It did, because I've been struggling with this whole. I found Dave Ramsey. When I found Dave Ramsey, I only had my student loan, and then I went stupid and got a payday loan, and then I bought stuff with the payday loan. And then I got myself a credit card. Then I had too much debt for my income at the time. And then I filed bankruptcy. It wasn't like, oh, let me go file bankruptcy as like an easy solution. It was like, oh crap, 2 years trying to pay it off as the normal plan of Dave Ramsey, and it wasn't working for me. It wasn't working. Like, I wasn't making traction. I felt more stress. It was just very, very frustrating, and I had to make a change in the plan to make the plan move fast, and I did. When I went to the bankruptcy office, this is what we did. I went in there, and I even went to the bankruptcy office thinking that I would not file bankruptcy. But when they showed me the numbers and they showed me what is available when you file bankruptcy, it made sense. It made sense. And it's only because where I live. If I was in the US, I would still have my student loan to deal with on its own, because student loans in the US are not included in bankruptcy, but they are in Canada. There's like, Canada does very different things than the US when it comes to credit and bankruptcy, taxes, and healthcare. So for people that are following the Dave Ramsey plan and you're Canadian, you're going to have to adjust it for what's available in Canada. Don't just go follow Dave Ramsey living in Canada when you're missing out on things that happen in your own country. Maybe I'll add Canada in my title somewhere. But yeah, that's what I got for you. I mean, no, that's it. And then I increased my emergency fund a little bit. I added $1,000 to my emergency fund because I have to deal with other things like taxes and my disability stuff. So I just added a buffer just in case I have to deal with that stuff, because it's something in my personal finance, personal journey that I have to deal with. So I added extra funds over there in case that part is changed or I need to protect myself with some cash, which is mostly the good thing about following a financial plan. Is that you understand where you need to focus on, and I'm not scared of buying a house. I used to be scared of buying a house, and then I used to be scared of like having too many bills. I learned that you do not need a lot of bills. If you can reduce your bills to 5, you'll be very, very happy. Like, I'm serious. I got my rent, my insurance, my utilities, which is I only pay electricity, and then my cell phone and my internet. I might get a car. That'd be 6. And then car insurance. That's it. But I'm buying my car cash. And then mortgage. So, but mortgage will be back over here on this hand. Instead of rent, it'd be mortgage, and then insurance, property taxes. But that, yeah, still 7. Like, really. Like, yeah. I'm not trying to have 15 different bills due every day of the week to stress myself out. I'm going to quote 5 or 7 bills for my whole entire lifestyle. And then, yeah. If food is not a bill, you have to eat. So you have to eat. I figure for me, I can do $70 a week for groceries minimum, up to $140. That's it. $140 a week is my maximum on groceries and food. And then I decided that almost $1,000 on my lifestyle, but it breaks down to clothes, miscellaneous, laundry, because I pay for laundry. And that's the thing, when I buy a house, I will have my own laundry machine. That means I'm not paying $5 for every wash and dry in the laundry machine. Or I might, still pay for laundry and send it out for wash and fold. This is what happens when you have a budget and understand your lifestyle. You figure out what stuff you'll pay for or outsource, or stuff that you'll do by yourself. So yeah, $2,400 to go. Then I work baby step 3, which is 3 to 6 months in emergency fund. With my lifestyle, it may be 1 month emergency fund. I can, start there and then do a little bit investing and then go back to my emergency fund. I may just do baby step 3 and 4 at the same time. So baby step 4, if you're following Dave Ramsey exactly, is 15% of your gross income into retirement savings. I may do that at the same time I'm doing baby step 3, baby step 3B, and baby step 4, because there's no baby step 5. I'm not having kids. Baby step 5 is putting money towards your kids going to college. I'm not doing that. So because I'm not doing that, as soon as I'm done paying off my bankruptcy baby step 2, it's to pile up cash in as many categories as I can. And yeah, so this is where I feel very light, very happy about everything that's going on. I don't know what else to tell you people about doing a baby step plan to get your finances in order, because it works. It's not like, oh, I'm going to make up a plan. If you're going to make up a plan, make sure the plan works and it doesn't stress you out and you see progress. Because you don't need 600 credit cards for all these points and everything. You really only need one. If you're going to go, I'm going to have a credit card route, you need one credit card. Car loan, you don't need a car loan. You don't need to finance stuff. That's just stupid, because the interest rate on financing stuff is nuts. The mortgage, because the way they price buying a house, you're very rare to buy it cash or you're getting a mortgage. The housing thing is just a whole nother realm of oh, that's so much. Renting is getting there too, because renting now is just increasing. And it's increasing by the landlords having greed, and then it's increasing by the mortgage companies. If you cut out the middleman of the landlord and then go get your own mortgage for yourself, it does eliminate one person that you're not talking to. It does. That's what I've learned. If I can just go straight to, let's buy a house, so I never have to talk to a landlord, I just hire the repair people and keep my house, then I'm fine. Because that's pretty much what the landlord does. You tell a landlord that something is broken, they either call the plumber, the exterminator, the contractor to come in to fix your unit, assuming they're doing it on a reasonable amount of time. There's that. I don't have that happening right now. Where my landlord is fixing stuff in a reasonable amount of time. Yeah. And it was before the pandemic. It's not like it's happening right now because of the pandemic. It was before the pandemic. So this is where me buying a house, I may venture in that because I just have to deal with the contractor fixing the things I tell it to fix, and I move on. Yeah. And then property tax, insurance, and refinancing a mortgage. All those wonderful, interesting stuff. I'm going to have to learn about that. The whole interest rate on a mortgage, the way we do it here. Because they don't do 15-year fix. They don't advertise a 15-year fix. I have to go in a mortgage broker saying I want a 15-year fix. And then hopefully they give it to me. Because it's not one of the options when you go to the websites for Canada on a mortgage. There's no 15 year. There's 25. There's a 10. There's a 5. There's a 30. But there's no 15. Yeah. And then there's fixed interest rates and there's variable interest rates. This is what I've discovered of learning about mortgages where I live. Yeah, there's that. But I'm not there yet. I'm not worried about it. I'm not there yet. There's so many other steps before that I have to finish before I get to buying a house. Plus, luckily, my dad is real estate. He's in real estate. So when I'm ready, I will call him. We'll do the whole home buying, look at houses thing. I already know my list of things I want. He'll find it and we'll get there. And hopefully he won't do the dad thing of trying to tell me what I can handle when I'm a full-grown 35-year-old woman. Yeah. So I may have to bring my mom over as a buffer, but then between the two of them, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's what I know. It's going to be interesting. That's it. That's what I got for you. If you're following Dave Ramsey and it's working for you, stick with it. If you're following another version of the plan and it's working for you, stick with it. That is what I have for you. I know I'm working a plan and it's working and I'm happy that's working, where I don't have to think about it too much at all. Like $2,400 can go very, very quickly, or it can go very, very slow based on my behavior and honestly my mood. If I want it to go quicker, I could. If I don't want it to go quicker, I could. If I want to jump steps around, like work on my emergency fund, I could. Yeah, I don't know, like, I'm not doing anything new. I'm just one of the many people that's following a plan to get out of debt and build wealth and have assets and reach millionaire dollar status. Because I really want $1 million net worth. Like, regardless of my disability, I really want $1 million net worth. Like, I already know first milestone in my net worth is $40,000. Next milestone is 50. Next milestone is 60. And once I hit 40, 50, and 60 milestone, disability is going to look at me differently. I already know that. That's a big thing that's going to happen for me, where I need to be ready for it. And to be ready for it, I follow the Dave Ramsey baby steps, baby step 1, 2, and 3, so that when I get high up there in my savings net worth, then I'm ready to handle disability. Like, the conversation with disability be a whole lot different when I have money. It's just what it is. And I know. I still have my disability. It's not like it's going anywhere. It's still there. What's happened this month has reminded me that my disability is still there. Yeah. Oh, classic car. I don't use Facebook. I don't use Facebook. I'm here. This is where I am. I'm talking to you here. This is where I am. And I have my blog. I post on my blog. And that's it. I'm not really into socializing with randoms on the internet. Hey Jay, how you doing? I'm finishing up here. I pretty much rambled on about my debt snowball, how I moved my debt, paying it off really quickly. I increased my emergency fund a little bit, and I'm putting myself in a position to have a net worth of $1 million or more. So you can watch the replay. I'm done here. I'm just picking up stuff, repeating stuff over and over again, which actually just runs up 30 minutes of time, which you don't need. This thing could have been done in 15 minutes, really. Just I kept talking. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Smooches.